morning. I'm Drew Holley, joined by Jesse Couch at BIS Benefits. This is America's most boring podcast. Today we're going to talk a little bit about general liability, which is on our business or property and casualty division. So let's say you're talking to a cousin or a family friend. They own a business, and they're like, "What does general liability even cover or not cover? What does that mean?"
Yeah, so it's probably the first coverage you would buy if you owned a business. It usually starts with the general liability policy. It's very basic. Essentially what it covers is third-party bodily injury or property damage. So first party would be your employees. That would be workers' comp. So third party would be if your product failed, hurt somebody, led to some sort of lawsuit or just medical damages. So third-party bodily injury or property damage.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't own your building, you lease it, that's usually something a landlord would make you have in your policy?
Sure.
Okay. And if you do own your building but you have a loan, maybe the loan company would make you do that, or do they not make you do that?
It just depends on the type of loan.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Typically, if you go rent space from a landlord, they want you to have liability at the most basic sense. And that's just going to be if someone gets hurt, come into your business, something like that. That way it keeps the landlord from having to get drug in from a liability type of issue.
Okay. Some of these limits, do they have minimums they start at? Like what? For personal auto, the state of Georgia makes us require, like, I think it's $25,000 as a minimum. Is there minimum requirements in the state, or were certain carriers like a Hartford or Travelers allow lower minimums? What do you see as usually minimum, and what do you see as maximum?
Yeah, that's a great question. We see that all over the board as far as what limits different landlords or the client that the business is working for will require. But typically, $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate. So you could have two separate $1 million claims.
Got it.
And that would be the standard limit. So, like most of our carriers won't even go below $1 million per occurrence.
Got it.
And if they need more, then we would get an excess liability policy to get higher limits. If they
Excess
need that.
just means extra.
Yeah,
I want
just
more
higher
than that.
limits.
And very simple, the cost for $1 million of protection if I get sued is going to be less than if I want $2 million of protection. Very simple. Okay. And if you have specific questions about your specific industry, that's where BIS can really maybe chime in, make recommendations. You might be in a situation where you have a limit, but it was something you put together 10 years ago, which might not be what you recommend based off your business size, maybe expansion. So thanks a lot, Jesse, for today's topic, and please reach out to BIS with any questions at bisbenefits.com.
Thank you.